If you're married or in a long-term partnership, you've likely built a retirement plan together. You've both contributed to CPP, you've estimated what your monthly payments will look like, and you assume that if one of you passes away, the other will simply receive both pensions, right? Not exactly. This is where CPP throws many couples off, because while there is a survivor benefit built into CPP, it doesn't work the way most people think. You don't automatically receive your spouse's full pension. The survivor benefit is capped even if you paid into CPP your entire career. And in many cases, what's left behind is far less than expected. In other words, the moment one spouse dies, the household income can drop significantly. And if your retirement plan isn't built to handle that drop, it could throw off everything, from your lifestyle spending to your estate intentions. This isn't just a small detail, it's a major income risk that every couple needs to plan for, well before it becomes a reality. Hi, I'm Danny Perro, Senior Investment Advisor at CG Wealth Management. I work with professionals, business owners, and retirees across Canada who want to make sure their retirement income is structured to last and to support both partners no matter what life brings. And one of the most overlooked risks in retirement planning is how the Canada Pension Plan Survivor Benefit actually works. Because many couples assume their combined CPP income is locked in for life. But in reality, when one spouse passes away, the survivor may lose thousands in government benefits each and every year. In this video, I'll break down the following: how CPP survivor benefit really works, what most couples get wrong, and how to build a retirement plan that's ready for anything, even the unexpected. If you find this valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for expert financial content. And please leave your questions in the comments below. Number 1, the myth of double CPP. Let's clear this up right away. You cannot receive 2 full CPP pensions even if both spouses worked full careers and qualify for the full CPP. Once one passes, the surviving spouse does not get to keep both. Instead, they receive their own CPP plus a partial survivor benefit. But that survivor benefit is subject to a cap, and that cap is no more than the maximum individual CPP benefit. So if your personal CPP is already close to the maximum, the survivor benefit you're eligible for might be very small or nothing at all. That surprises most couples because they assume their partner's contributions don't just vanish when they die. But in practice, much of it does. Number 2, how the survivor benefit is actually calculated. Let's walk through the math using real numbers. Say your spouse was receiving the maximum CPP, which in 2025 is about $1,364 per month. And you're also receiving CPP, but your benefit is a modest, say, $900 per month. Now your spouse passes. Here's what happens. You keep your $900 a month. You might be eligible for a survivor benefit equal to 60% of your deceased spouse's CPP. That sounds like it should be $818.40, right? Not quite, because here's the catch. Your total benefit, your own CPP plus the survivor benefit, can't exceed the CPP maximum. And since the max is still $1,364 and you already are receiving $900 in this example, the maximum survivor benefit you receive is only $464. In reality, it's often even less than that once the government applies the integration formula. So instead of $900 plus 818 equaling 1,718, you're likely to receive around $1,250 or $1,300 in total. That's a significant drop in household income. Number 3, the double impact of widow's cliff. This leads to a problem many pre-retirees overlook. Your household income can drop 25 to 40%, but your expenses don't. Yes, your grocery bill might be a little lower, but your property tax, utilities, travel, and vehicle costs, they don't get cut in half, unfortunately. It's what we call the widow's cliff. Suddenly, you're living on a single income with much lower government benefits and possibly higher taxes if your partner passed in a low-income year. Here's an example. A couple receiving $2,100 a month in combined CPP. One passes, surviving spouse receives $1,300 a month total. That's an $800 a month loss, or nearly $10,000 a year just in CPP income loss. And that doesn't include any reduction in OAS or pension splitting opportunities. This can dramatically change the sustainability of your retirement plan. Number 4, it gets worse if you delay CPP to age 70. Now here's where things get a little trickier, especially for high income earners. If both spouses delay CPP to age 70, you get an enhanced monthly monthly benefit up to 42% more than if you started at 65. Sounds great in theory, right? But the survivor benefit cap doesn't increase. It's still based on the standard maximum CPP, not the delayed amount. So if your spouse is receiving $1,900 a month by delaying CPP to age 70, you still can't receive more than the standard $1,364 as a total benefit. That extra income they earned from delaying CPP, it disappears upon death. So while delaying CPP may still make sense for longevity planning, don't assume it benefits your surviving spouse. In some cases, it actually increases the risk of a steep drop in income after death. Number 5, survivor benefits are not automatic. Another important note, you must apply for the CPP survivor benefit. It's not automatic. And if your spouse passes away suddenly and you don't apply, you could be missing out on months of benefits you're entitled to. The application requires death certificate, SIN number of the deceased, banking information, personal ID. If you're in an emotional or overwhelmed state, it's easy to overlook this. That's why I encourage every couple to plan ahead. Talk about it, document it, and assign someone to help. Number 6, what you can do to prepare. So what can you actually do? Let's walk through 4 key steps. Understand your combined CPP exposure. Don't wait until you're 65 to run the numbers. Estimate you and your spouse's CPP benefits early and model what the survivor benefit will look like if one of you passes at different stages of retirement. If your household relies heavily on CPP, you may be more vulnerable than you think. Build other reliable income streams. CPP should not be your only retirement income. If possible, structure your plan with the following: RIF or TFSA withdrawals, non-registered investment income, corporate dividends if you're a business owner, or insured solutions to replace income upon death. The goal is to ensure the surviving spouse can maintain lifestyle continuity, even if your CPP drops. Also, review your pension options carefully. If one of you has a defined benefit pension, the same issue may apply. Some pensions only offer 50% survivor payouts. Others offer guaranteed periods or joint and survivor options that reduce your income now but protect your spouse later. Choosing the wrong pension options can leave a widow or widower financially stranded. I always say, always run the numbers and consider the survivor impact. Integrate CPP with your estate plan. If the drop in survivor income is going to create a funding gap, consider life insurance as a backstop. This isn't about legacy, it's about income replacement. Many clients assume they don't need insurance in retirement, but when used properly, a modest permanent policy can act as a tax-free replacement for lost CPP income, especially if one spouse has health issues or if you're relying on CPP to cover fixed living costs. Here's the truth most couples aren't told until it's too late. You can do everything right financially, save diligently, qualify for maximum CPP, retire debt-free, and still be blindsided by the loss of income when one spouse passes. The CPP survivor benefit was never designed to fully support surviving spouses. It's a supplemental benefit. It helps, yes, but it's often not enough. And that's what makes this so dangerous, because it feels like a safety net until you actually need it. Think about it. You've spent decades building a life together. You've planned your retirement as a couple. You've worked under the assumption that whatever you've earned through CPP, pensions, savings will be there when it matters most. But the reality is, if you're not planning ahead, your partner could be left with a fraction of the income you've built together. No one wants to think about losing a spouse. But what's worse is realizing that after the fact, that you could have made a few decisions and spared them years of financial stress. This is about more than maximizing benefits. It's about the following: ensuring your spouse can stay in the family home, keeping up with the rising costs without sacrificing a lifestyle, protecting the dignity and the financial independence you both worked so hard to build. So here's my encouragement to you. If you haven't already modeled the survivor scenario, now's the time. If you don't know how much of your spouse's CPP you'd actually receive, now is the time. If your plan is relying too heavily on joint government benefits, now's the time to rethink it all before life forces your hand. This isn't just about investing, it's about planning with purpose. It's about protecting your future and the person you love the most. If you want a second opinion on your plan, book a time with me using the link in the description below. And remember, money never sleeps.